Welcome back to FTBL Final Whistle. Today we got Europa League on hand, the last for a while now as we enter the World Cup soon. And it's the final day of the group stage. But before we get too much into it, I got to introduce my co-host this time, not my guest, Culture Cams. How you doing today on this fine Thursday evening?
I'm all good, bro. All good, man. At least you got the title, right? You know what I mean, co-host. But I'm all good, man. Just obviously Europa, we got the result, not the exact result that we wanted, but we move, man. We move. Listen to it.
Of course. No, 100%. Well, we'll start where we can only really start. I think people were kind of looking at Arsenal and United today and what was going to happen. We'll talk about Arsenal a little down the line, but let's start with Manchester United. They needed to win this game 2-0 to be able to kind of bypass this extra qualifying phase, which they now find themselves in. And obviously, if anyone watched the game finishes up 1-0. We can talk about the lineup a bit. I thought it was a weird one. I think it also highlights the lack of depth United have, especially in attack. And I think it's a very weird performance. Like, they got the win. They got another clean sheet under the belt, which you can never complain about. But also very, very weird performance. And I think it was capitalized off by Harry Maguire coming in near the end of the game and playing striker next to Cristiano Ronaldo. That's what you get in the Europa League. Cam, you probably had your eye more carefully on this game than I did, to be honest. What are your main takeaways, coming into this game? Because now you also look at the opponents United could be playing. It's not ideal, right? It would have been perfect to kind of have these 2 weeks off. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. So yeah, give me some of your takeaways.
No, it was one of those games where it's what Man United do sometimes. You know what I mean? United will have a decent first half, a good first half, and then the second half performance, or it might be the first half is poor, then the second half is good. At the moment, Man United are just a 45-minute team, and that's concerning. That means you have to get your goal and win the game from that first half or the second half, whatever. We haven't, as I keep saying, other than Spurs, United haven't put together a 90-minute performance yet fully. And whether that's down to the players or down to the manager, I'm more inclined to say that's down to the players, because it's something that we've seen over the years. Like, Man United have been like that. I remember under LVG, even back to those days where it was like first half FC, you just got to forget about it. Go bed. United ain't scoring in the first half. Same thing with Oli and stuff. So what I would say is that it was one of them ones where we contained them in the first half. They started popping it initially. And I was thinking, okay, the Spaniards, you know what I mean? They know how to play football. But United started imposing their physicality on them, got the goal, of course, from the counter. And it's okay. 1-0 at halftime, that's what you want to see. But then in the second half, you're expecting the team to come out and want it a little bit more. I think the team wanted it, but it was way too eager. The long balls, it was too much. It started going long balls and forcing it a little bit too much, which then allowed Sociedad to keep growing and growing and growing and growing. So overall, it was a poor performance, in my opinion. I think that was probably their worst performance since it's our worst performance alongside the first two games and City game. You know what I mean? And even the City game, at least they showed some reaction in the second half. But yeah, no, it was a poor performance all round. But we move, as you said, 1-0. Got a clean sheet. At the end of the day, it's still a win. You finish your group with 15 points. And only concede 3 goals, you would think you're going to qualify, right? Unfortunately, we didn't, and it gets like that. But I think we'll get one of these Champions League teams. Honestly, like, everyone's talking about Champions League team. I'm not afraid of any of these Champions League teams. Like,
they're
of course,
dropping down for a reason, right? They're not Champions League teams anymore. That's the reality.
We're all having a mid-off, bro. We're all having a mid-off. That's how I see it. We're all having a mid-off. So I ain't concerned about these Champions League teams. If they come, and you got to play them anyway. You know what I mean? What would the difference have been? If they're as good as everyone's saying, then we would have met them in the quarters anyway, you know? So it really makes no difference. The only annoying thing is 2 extra games, you know? And that's annoying. But however, you know what I mean? These Champions League, Juventus, people are saying, oh, Juventus are going to smash you up. Mate, Juventus are 7th in the Serie A. Sevilla are 18th in the La Liga. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing to be scared of. You're going to face them, and you just got to get the job done.
No, 100%. I kind of want to start off with the lineup that Ten Hag put out, because I think a lot of people, I think Ten Hag, to be honest, since he's come team, and I think rightfully so, he's coached good results. I think he's improved the team like we already talked about. But I thought it was a weird performance on his part as well. The lineup that he put out, starting Bruno on the right, which we have seen in cameos at times this season, towards the end of a game, Bruno to shift out more on the right. We've seen that before. And then to bring Donny van de Beek back into the team, who I'm sure we're going to talk about more extensively today. Ronaldo up front and Garnacho on the wing. Garnacho, I think, is the one shining light of this performance. Took his goal absolutely brilliantly, right? And we saw Langa at the weekend compared to what Garnacho showed us this game. And even the other Europa League game, boy, it looks like we have a real star on our hands there. But yeah, it was just really weird, man. I think it kind of showed that we were talking about this kind of in private over text messaging, but I think United really need to go into the market in January and bring in another attacker, because it's just showing that the minute one or two go down, we're playing Bruno on the right and Van de Beek in the 10. And I want to talk about Donny a little bit, right? Because the first season, a lot of our fans were kind of talking about give him time, give him time, give him time. Second season, it was like, okay, well, the team is disjointed. Who can really shine in this? And this is now the third season with his old manager, right? There's no excuses anymore. This is the guy who's supposed, like, Donny van de Beek has never played better than he did under Eric Ten Hag. So you can't blame the manager here. This is solely on him. And I think it's kind of just showing that, look, he's out of his depth here. He will never really be a Man United player. And I think the clock is kind of ticking on his future, right?
Yeah. Look, Donny, he's just not at the level. It's as simple as that. He's just not at the level. People talk about him technically and stuff. I don't even see what's so special about him technically. I think he's got a bit of a smart brain in certain areas. However, other than that, he doesn't get involved in play. And a lot of people say, you've got to be on Donny's like wavelength. Like if you're on his wavelength, listen, he was the worst technically in that Ajax team, or midfield at least. We're talking as if like we've got Xavi, some like Iniesta, hidden Iniesta on our hands or something. We haven't. He's an average. He's pretty much an average player. I mean, doesn't pull up any trees for Holland. Did nothing for Everton. Every game he's played for Man United, he's had a few decent ones, but overall, it's passive. It's not. He can't press. He gets bullied in the tackles. He can't dribble. There's not really much he can necessarily do. So, and let's be honest, that's probably one that Ollie actually got right. Well, if Ollie meant to sign him, I never thought probably Ollie did. However, Ollie probably got that right by not playing this guy, because maybe that might have damaged his confidence in the long run. Maybe he needed to start initially and maybe build his career. And now he's always playing catch up. Like Ten Hag at half before the game said, he must take this opportunity. That's a lot of pressure on you, you know. He must take this, which is not. It's unfortunate, but we're 3-0. We're 3 years in, and overall, he's just a mid player, and it is what it is. And Man United should just cash in, in the summer or even January if there's a possibility of cashing on him and getting someone else. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say it ain't looking too good for him.
I actually really agree with the comment you said. Like, people talk about like technical. I don't think he is that technical or that talented, to be honest with you. Like, he's a very tidy, neat player, but he doesn't really take players on. He doesn't really have a killer through ball in him. He's just very tidy.
Sorry to cut you, but he's tidy in ways where, yes, he knows when to do the first time pass, or he knows when to maybe turn this way. However, he can't get out of tight spaces. He can't dribble out of tight spaces. He's not creative. He's not an engine. He's just a player that's there. That's too all these specific. I was talking about
he's
it just
a
the other day.
Player, bro.
These specific players where you have to have everything perfect for them to thrive. You have to have a whole team who are better than him technically, and then have him as the runner in behind them, just ghosting. Less of all of that. No one has time for all of that. You can do that at maybe Ajax, but overall now he's not. He's never going to be a Man United player, in my opinion.
I'm 100% with you. I think that's been something that everyone has really known, but maybe they were too afraid to say. But I think the reality is staring a lot of people in the face right now. We can talk a little bit more about Garnacho. I kind of gave a brief breakdown of what I thought about him, but Cam, I know you're a big fan of the kid. I think the most impressive thing about Garnacho, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me, is that he's positive. He's very direct. Nothing about him is like what you just described with Van de Beek, where it's safe, tidy, afraid to take risks. Garnacho is fearless. It also comes with the age, right? Young players like to take players on and take risks. I thought today in last performance against whether it was Sheriff and Omonia, they all get mixed up for me, to be honest. I thought he showed that Carrington has really produced a really great one there, and United hopefully can look. The last great Carrington product we have, we won't speak too much about him, but it looks like the next one up could be Garnacho, and I think the last 2 performances have really suggested that.
Nah, yeah, it's positive to see a player on the wing just want to get on the ball, run at the defenders, go past defenders, and there was about 2 opportunities where he could have shot, bro, but he looked to Ronaldo, or he looked like he lacked that confidence. He was thinking, I've got to do it. You know, I think he did a back heel to Shaw, and then he did a pass to Ronaldo. But I was like, bro, you could have one more shoot, you know. So that's still that, maybe that inferiority complex where I'm the younger of the team, blah 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 blah. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But overall, he looks a good player. He looks a bright, positive player that we can, if he's not going to start, you can bring him off the bench and actually have some form of contribution this season. What I don't want United fans to do is turn around and say, well, Garnacho needs to start now every week.
Nah,
Garnacho needs to be the one. That's how you're going to kill him. Let him come off the bench in some games, let him start in some games. So you got to give him the credit. You got to give him credit for that performance and that finish, the touch. It was very nice. And yeah, man, I'm happy to see. It always hits different when someone from your academy, whether these guys, so someone say he joined 2 years ago. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, he was been in the academy for the last 2 years, developing at Carrington. So for him to do something different when you have an academy player score, man, it always feels nice. You know what I mean? So it was good to see, and hopefully he can kick on from there, man. But I just seen a comment say, can we compare Van der Beek to Odegaard? Absolutely not. Well, I know you're not an Odegaard fan, but Odegaard
no. Hold on. Odegaard
him.
is clear of him, and I wouldn't say I'm not a fan. Actually, just to kind of like bring it to him really quickly, I think my perception on him really changed when someone kind of pointed out to me that, look, I'm thinking about him the wrong way. You see like left foot, kind of very technical, and you think Ozil, but Odegaard is not really a 10. He's almost like a deep lying playmaker at times. And when you kind of think about him like that, I think I misjudged him OD, but that's just kind of on Odegaard. Yeah, come on, he's streets ahead of Van de Beek. The last one I really want to talk about at United is the big man up front. There's been a few positive performances since the Spurs won, but I think today kind of went right back to well, I don't even know how to kind of say it, right back to zero. I thought it was a really, really poor performance from Cristiano Ronaldo, even besides the miss. And again, like I think that the major talking point from this game has to be that United, like I told you, Cam, has to dip into the window, because relying on Ronaldo up front for 38 games is not going to fly. This team cannot make the top 4, in my opinion, relying on him. And Martial, we can't rely on his fitness for either. Well, what do you really got to say on that?
I mean, I don't even think it's a game to talk about Ronaldo. I'll be perfectly honest, bro. I don't think he was any worse than anyone else. I think the tactics that we were playing, I mean, did we think we had Andy Carroll up front or something, the way we were booting the ball? Ronaldo has never been one of those guys who's there to flick on. Now, you put the ball in the box, he'll attack it with all his life, but he's never been one to be doing all these flick-ons, and that's not how he is. This is the problem when you have a Ronaldo. He's such a big name, such a big presence, that anything that happens, he ends up becoming the talking point after the game. And that's why I've always just been like, look, I'm happy for Ronaldo to do whatever he wants with his career after this, because this type of stuff annoys me, because I genuinely do not think he did anything particularly terrible. He should have finished that chance. And that's one thing that I would say I'm mad disappointed nowadays, is that Ronaldo's not as clinical as he used to be. You would have thought even if you're 38, 39, 50, you're still going to know how to score. You know what I mean? He's not as clinical as he was, which is obviously not as ideal at all. But United didn't create anything. I didn't even see us get into our box in the second half. I don't see how Ronaldo is the point of topic. I just don't.
No, he's not the point of topic, but Cam, like you were the person who even said last week, right? With Rashford. Rashford is creating chances almost like he's a chance magnet. Like chances come through him. Don't you think with Ronaldo, I agree with you, right? Like he wasn't particularly worse than, for example, Van de Beek, and Bruno wasn't anything special. And I think Eriksen is another one that for me, his performances have kind of been sneaking under the radar recently. I think since his first month where he was United's player of the month, I think it was the first month, he hasn't been pulling up any trees. But I think with Ronaldo, the thing is, it's not that he played really poorly, but it's just that he's not really offering anything, bro. It's like, it's just another man up front. And this is why I'm saying, like, I'm not saying United are going to get relegated with him, but having him up front for 38 games this season, I think could really hurt the team. I think they need more up front. Maybe forget about even Ronaldo. Even look at the wings. We talk about Bruno on the right. United needs more in attack, no doubt about it.
United need more in attack, 100%. But I don't think United are. I don't think Ten Hag plans on playing Ronaldo 38 games in a season.
But does
I
he have a
don't think he
choice?
does.
That will,
No,
the way
will.
it's
He will. No. When Anthony comes back, he'll put Rashford up top as well. He'll mix it around. He's not going to be the top. He's not going to be the one that's starting every single week. He's going to start some games, but it's not going to be every single week. So I'm not concerned about 38 games. Is he going to be the one that plays 38 games? I'm just saying, I just don't see how we can go through that game and talk about Ronaldo. I saw Man United pumping the ball long all game. I saw Man United not do anything in midfield all game. I saw Ten Hag play a 3-3-1 or whatever it was.
3-3-1-3.
I don't see how. What type of striker would you need in that game for United to succeed? You'll need prime Didier Drogba to do anything in that type of game, the way Man United were playing. In all honesty, you need a prime Didier Drogba, you need Emil Heskey, you need someone like that. I don't see how that was particularly anything got to do with Ronaldo. You got Bruno on the right wing. There's not even a counter possibility. There's not even anyone that's going to get beyond him. Garnacho did, and Ronaldo put it through, and he went and scored. So I wouldn't say it was particularly anything got to do with Ronaldo personally. Exactly, like I tweeted at the game, like I think Ten Hag might have been drunk this game because the tactic that he played, but he did that 3-3-3. It's like, yo, you might have done that at Ajax, but we ain't ready for that yet. We ain't ready for that type of formation or idea or tactic. And then it ends up with Maguire up top and all of this type of stuff. I personally think Ten Hag made the wrong substitutions. I think
Definitely.
I wouldn't say the game is on him today, but I don't think that he managed this game well at all. I mean, that Lindelof sub was super baffling, and I think he wanted to get some form of control in midfield, but it just became scatty and clueless. The only people, which is funny, the only ones that really actually looked all right were Dalot, Martinez, and Shaw, the three who were actually just playing centre back. But the midfield were confused. The front three were confused. It was a bit of a wild one still.
No, 100%. Parkland Demon, thank you for the super chat. We talked about Van de Beek briefly, so we're not going to go too much in depth, but just to kind of cover what me and Cam said. Look, I think it's kind of a performance that summarizes Van de Beek. I think he plays it way too safe. I don't think he has enough really in his game to displace a player like Bruno, who, again, me and Cam aren't even huge fans of Bruno, but there's no way you can displace Bruno with the way Van de Beek is playing. And I think me and Cam also agree that we just don't think it'll ever work out long-term for him at the club. And for the sake of the player and for the sake of Manchester United, it'd probably be better to kind of cut ties, trying to get as much money as you can and let Van de Beek go get first-team football somewhere else. That's really our thoughts on him. But thank you for the super chat, bro. Cam, anything else that you really want to touch on from this game before we kind of look at who's dropping down from the Champions League that United could potentially play?
Somebody said, Cam, what are you watching? I'm actually watching United. I'm actually watching the United highlights. It's on the screen
This is a
right
sick man, bro. He can't get enough of his own demise, bro.
Garnacho, come on. Yes.
Hey, the gas was unreal when he scored, bro.
Nah, I'm joking, but yeah, like I'm just watching the highlights of the game. But yeah, man, there's not really much to take out of that game, man. We just got to now look forward to the Villa game. Villa away, they got a new manager, away bounce or whatever. I mean, new manager bounce. You know how it goes. So yeah, man, let's see what happens. Overall, I just think people can't expect super consistency from the performances yet, because as I keep saying, guys, and I'll say it every time, I say it on United State of Mind, these are the same bunch of players that just last season, all of you guys were saying should never, ever play for the club. And now we want champagne football every single week with 3 points and 5 goals. Give your heads a wobble, people, man. Give your head a wobble. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. The most important thing now is that we go into the World Cup with 2 wins, hopefully, and then we'll take it from there. We'll see if we address things in January. But everyone expecting this champagne every single game. Just last season, I'll go back to all of your tweets, I'll find all of you lot's comments about the team last season. I really will. So you guys need to manage your expectations.
No, 100%. Raphael, thank you for the super chat. Who would you guys recruit and attack for this team? Mbappe, nah, but seriously, who could United realistically get? I did see a comment earlier talking about João Felix. What would you say about that, Cam? Because João Felix is a guy that potentially could be available as early as January. If you believe the reports, United put in a bid, or I don't know, they intrigued about him over the summer. Is that someone that you could see coming into this United team and really having a big impact, or is it maybe the kind of profile that United needs to stay away from? And you kind of look around Europe, the return of the big man is kind of coming back. Do United need to kind of go shift into that direction? What do you think about all this?
Yeah, I mean, Felix, the thing about Felix, man, his profile of player, I still worry about it in the Premier League. As much as he's so good technically and stuff, I do think people give a bit too much of an excuse for Felix, even though he is under Simeone ball or whatever. They seem to never speak on him. Sometimes I see him and he's not performing well. Simple as. It's got nothing to do with the manager. You know, maybe he wants to leave, fair enough. But where do we play him? Is he going to be our false nine? Well, is he our false nine? Is he our 10? What is it?
It's weird. Like he plays that like 10.5 or like 9.5. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
There we go. And what man are saying that we need more goals. Does Gerard Felix give us 25, 30 goals a season playing in this false nine role? No. So what are we going to do? We're going to get Gerard Felix. And what are we going to do? We're going to rely on who? Our wingers to still score goals, right? And do our wingers score goals? No. There we go. So the João Felix, I'll take him because I love quality. And if Ten Hag thinks he's good enough, I trust Ten Hag. Ten Hag's signings have all been our players of the month. I trust what he wants to do. However, does he score goals? Is he going to hold at the ball? All these type of things that people are saying they want. We're still going to get the ball. Sometimes our front three could be Felix, Sancho, and Anthony. Defenders are going to be smoking cigars, seeing that. So, yeah.
Felix is a striker for me. Like, you look at Arsenal with Jesus, and like you have two wingers, arguably probably the two best wingers in the league at the moment, are giving you high volume, high output, and Jesus can kind of play that role. You look at Liverpool in the past with Firmino, wasn't required to kind of do that. That profile was perfect when you had Salah and Mane. I agree completely with you. If you see a front three of Jesus, Anthony, and Sancho, and let's be real, that's a very big possibility considering how much money United spent all three. No defender is shaking in their boots looking at that front three. So I guess who
I'll take him. I would 100% take him. But there was another man at Atletico that I saw that was available, and that was Rodrigo De Paul. Now I'm taking.
But De Paul is midfield. We're talking about.
Yes, I want him in midfield.
But this guy's asking for an attack.
No, I forget. Oh, yeah. It's okay. Fair enough. But that's when I saw De Paul.
He's a good player. He's a good player.
I need some of that. I need some of that. But yeah, man. Let's see.
Forwards. I'm seeing Vlahovic in the comments. Vlahovic is a tough one to get out of Juve, right? Because
Vlahovic hype, man. Mitrovic is right there, man. Vlahovic.
You don't rate Vlahovic?
He's all right.
I think he's good. I think you talk about a player kind of being hurt by his circumstances. He's still scoring goals for Juve, but your dog Allegri, his tactics are stuck in the Stone Age. I'm seeing also Ivan Toney. I'm seeing Osimhen, your countryman right there. What are you thinking about Osimhen?
You know what? That guy is an absolute problem, bro. His athleticism is weird. I don't know if I want him at Man United, I'll be honest. However, his athleticism, his the way he causes problems, and he scores goals. He's not a clinical finisher, but he's an absolute weapon, bro. You know what I mean? You can pump it long to him, you can put it in the air, you can put it down the sides. He is a proper player. So yeah, man, like I think he's a good player, but I don't know if I want him at United. It's not about bag deep enough. Look, let's see how these guys get on. Yeah. I hope these guys become two absolute world-class players the way people talk about Vlahovic and Leao. Let's see.
I think the thing with Osimhen, right? I'm not comparing him directly to him, but you kind of look at Darwin Nunez, who is a dog. His movement is elite. He's a handful for defenders. Very good athletically. I kind of look at Osimhen similarly to that. A lot of his goals aren't like the most pleasing on the eye. Like, he's not, for me, an unbelievable finisher, but his movement, his aggression, his athleticism, he's got that dog in him. But I agree with you. Like, do United need that? I think United needs.
He looks like a Prem player, though. I'm not gonna lie. He looks like
definitely, 100%. And I think in certain systems he will eat. But I think for what Ten Hag wants, and you kind of look at Martial, right? We need a Martial that can score 30 goals and that can stay fit. That's, in my opinion, what we need. Someone who can.
You're not gonna get
bring
that.
The rest. Yeah, no, it's tough, right? Like to go find a striker like that, it's very, very difficult. maybe Ivan Toney is that guy. I don't know. Does he give you all of that? That's a
I
huge
like
leap.
Tony, but is he
But
going to
going
come
from
to Man
Brentford to
United
United is huge, anyways. Going from
as a
Brentford to
lone
United,
striker and
yeah, that's
score
tough.
30?
That's tough.
Listen, it's going to be hard to get someone like that because nowadays guys don't know how to do both. You're either a link-up striker or you're a goal scorer. How often do you get goal scoring strikers who can do both? It's not often
Benz,
anymore.
man.
You
Benz,
got
man. You were a
There we
real one.
go. There we go, man. And we're hanging on to people like Benz. We're hanging on to Harry Kanes and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But there's not guys that can do these things, man. There's not guys that can do these things. So
100%. 100%. Yeah. Just, I think there was one more comment that Sesko, this guy was bringing up. Sesko, I believe, actually already went to Leipzig. I think they signed him and just reloaned him back to Salzburg. So unfortunately, he's already that player. But yeah, no, anyone that kind of fits that mold is obviously the dream. If not, hey, they're going to have to take a huge punt on a guy that isn't completely proven, that is going to cast doubts for players. But like you said correctly, Ten Hag's recruitment has been excellent so far. So whoever he believes is the right guy for United, he has my approval because so far he hasn't done anything to lose it.
Aiden is thinking like me, boy. Give me some of that Killian. Okay, let's talk. Let's talk, man. Just let's have a conversation. That's all.
Would you take Harry Kane? Would you take Harry Kane on a 2-year deal?
Absolutely. What kind of question is that? That's a crazy question. Of course, I would take Harry Kane on a 2-year deal. What is that? Is not even. That's a no-brainer, bro. That is a no-brainer. Of course, you take
someone has to get him out of Spurs. To be honest with you, I mean, if it's gonna be anyone, shit, it might have to be us.
Hey.
Kane campaign.
Should I launch that again, people? Should I launch the Kane campaign again?
Let's talk about some of the teams that are coming down from the Champions League. The dropouts, the college dropouts. That's what we got to call them. Let's start with one team because there is a story that came out today that I wanted to speak to you about because it's a player that we've kind of seen from start to finish, like we were talking about. It's Barcelona. And if anyone really missed it today, Gerard Pique has officially announced that he's going to be retiring from football. His last game is going to be this weekend. He's pulling a Gary Neville. He's decided that, look, I can't cut it anymore at the top. And to save me the embarrassment, because we all saw the other week against Inter when he did that thing, sticking out his arms. I think at that moment, when he saw Barella open, he's like, nah, I got to call it a day, bro. That's it.
His awareness is on zero, bro. His
like,
sensors have been turned off.
He says, I can't cut it at this level anymore. But hey, Gerard Pique retiring from the game. I don't know how you think, because to be honest with you, I've noticed that you got an agenda on a lot of that class of Barcelona team. But for me, and don't try and hide it, bro.
No, I do not. No, I don't.
But Pique, for me, and I don't know if you're going to agree with this, at his best, I honestly believe he was one of the finest defenders of his generation. I really think that the last few years, for me, will cloud a lot of people's judgment because he has had some stinkers the last 2 or 3 years. And he always had that blunder in him. I remember against Real Madrid, Ronaldo used to cook this guy from time to time. But let's not get it twisted. I think Pique for a while was at a very, very high level. That partnership he had with Ramos for Spain, with Puyol and Mascherano for Barcelona. Give me your thoughts on Pique, because you saw him as well with Man United, that Bolton game, of course, from Man United to treble winner to World Cup winner, and now retiring. Give me some of your thoughts on Gerard Pique.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, to see Pique retire, man. That's a player that, as you just mentioned, I've seen his whole career, bro. He was nice. He was a good defender, man. Like, if we're talking about ball playing centre halves, how everyone wants to be nowadays, Pique had that in his locker, in his sleep. Ball playing defender. He could do right foot. He could do left foot ping sometimes. He could drive with the ball as well, and he was actually a weapon in the box. You know what I mean? Pique scored some important headers. He was good at, and he could strike the ball, bro. Pique was a good footballer altogether. Yeah. The last couple of years haven't been ideal. He's a very loud, in-your-face figure as well. There's always something you're hearing about Pique. So he's became actually one of the most disliked people, I'm sure, in Spain, which is crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't say he was a Ramos. He wasn't a Sergio Ramos. Do you know what I mean? You see how maybe people talk about like John Stones now. I love John Stones personally, by the way. But that's how I see how he was. He was always that kind of like nice B to the next alpha, if you get what I'm coming from.
Do you really think so? Because what you think he was Mascherano's B?
I think Mascherano was the alpha between the two.
Really? I disagree.
I think Mascherano was a leader of that team. They say he was a vocal leader of that team.
I think Pique was more of a leader for Barcelona than Mascherano.
He's a figure. PK for me was a figure. Like he was a figure, the staple of what's the club of what's their club called? Of Barcelona, sorry, of Catalonia and stuff. But I
Catalonia.
don't think I don't think PK was necessarily that guy, in my opinion. I just don't. I think he was nice. He didn't age the greatest. But overall, I think sometimes people go on like he's a fraud. I wouldn't say he's a fraud,
Definitely not.
but
Definitely.
when you say he was how can I say it? When you say he was like one of the
I said he was
greatest
one of
of
the
his
finest
generation,
of his generation. That's what I said.
you've got to be specific what you mean there.
From when
Like
he was
when you
playing,
say
I
one of the
think
finest, you say top 5, or you saying top 10, or you saying
let
top.
me say this, right? And I'm not like, this is the players I consider in his generation. Ramos, of course, Godin, Chiellini, Bonucci, Thiago Silva. Who else is like a center back from that era? Company, I guess. Uh, Van Dijk maybe is more towards the end of that, so I probably wouldn't count him. But I would say after Ramos, I'd put Pique right there, to be honest with you. And you may disagree. You might have taken Godin, you might have taken Chiellini, but I think Pique right after Sergio Ramos. Here's another thing too, right? Barcelona, for as much as people gas up Ramos and Varane, that partnership, Barcelona always had not even just a marginally better, or a much better goal difference than Real Madrid did. And I get that's also because Barcelona keep the ball a lot more. Naturally, you're going to concede less chances. But Pique was the constant in that team that was consistently conceding the least amount of goals in La Liga, some of the least amount of goals in Europe. And he was a figurehead in that Spain team as well. So for me, I put him right below Ramos in terms of his generation of center backs. You may argue a Silva, but I think Pique is right there.
I'd put a few people above him because yes, he was good at the ball playing things, but as real defenders, you know, there was guys that were better than him. You know what I mean? You think about Pepe for Real Madrid. I think he was unreal
Pepe.
personally. Yeah,
Okay.
I love Pepe. I think he was unreal.
Very good.
Still
Very
going
good.
till today. You think about proper defenders, there was a lot better than him, but PK did mix it up with the passing ability and with just that coolness at times, you know what I mean, when they needed it. So yeah, I would say that he's not underrated, but he's not overrated. I think he's just spoken about appropriately. You know what I mean? Sometimes people go overboard with the criticism of him, but I think PK was a good centre half. But I like Pepe, bro. I like
No,
Pepe.
Pepe for me was good. Pepe for me was
Say
good.
this guy's a wild, just wild. Pepe was a quality defender
He
because
was very good.
people go on the internet and see that he was kicking that guy on the back and stuff. They're gonna say that he weren't good,
Nah,
or
Pepe
they
was
only
very good.
remember some classicos when Jose Mourinho would specifically tell them to go crazy on the Barcelona players. Pepe was a quality centre half, man.
No, Pepe was very good. For me, I kind of look at Pique in that you might even find this crazy because it's your boy, but I look at Rios, the Piques, even the Varans in terms of like that profile of defender. And I guess maybe when you say like the B-side center back in terms of I don't want to call him a beta, but like the more so the ball playing center back, the Rio to someone's Vidic, the Carvalho to someone's John Terry. I look at Pique as like that kind of style of defender. And oftentimes those defenders are more so the quiet ones in terms of how they defend. Like Ramos's, Pepe's, they're very aggressive with the way they play. Pique was never so much that. And I think also the blunders really, let's get it. If you guys saw my Twitter today, the own goal he scored against Bayern, where he basically like volleyed it into the top corner of his net. Like he had too many of those moments. But hey,
the thing is, right, what happens is that anyone that plays for Barcelona in that era get called the best of whatever. That's just the way it is. If you talk about positions, all throughout their positions, people will say they were the best. They were the best or
you
whatever.
think so though?
Generation.
Because look, let's look
when
at it, right?
PK finally got put on an island, he wasn't that great, bro. When the Barcelona team started evaporating a little bit and it wasn't the goated team that we know, was PK still that centre half for you?
I think he was, bro. I really think he was, bro, because you look because when Mascherano came to Barcelona, not everyone was saying, oh, this is going to be a Champions League winning center back duo. I mean, don't forget this guy was playing defensive mid at Liverpool, and his first few months at Barca were howlers. In fact, it's that tackle on Arsenal on Nicholas Bentner to basically save Barcelona that year that kind of saved his Barca career. So for him to go on that long of a run with Mascherano next to him, I think it takes massive respect. And someone's asking me here, Puyol or Pique? I might shock you here. I think Pique was the better center back than Puyol was.
Fair enough. I think I'll probably go. I'll probably go Puyol. However, I'm not saying Puyol. Puyol was a fantastic. For me, Puyol was fantastic. He wasn't. Sometimes people kind of over romanticize Pique. Puyol. Sorry, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie. However, I think I liked Puyol, and I think he was the real leader of that team as well. Man.
yeah.
A real leader, really got stuck in, really attacked the balls and stuff. But I always like those type of centre halves. You know what I mean? The ones that really put themselves about. That's my type of centre half. So maybe that's why. However,
Yeah.
I do like PK. I'm not going to sit here and criticize him that much. However, I don't think he was the maddest defender in the world. I think he was just nice, but
Yeah, he was
yeah, I don't.
impressive. Do you
I
remember
got
that Di Maria skill on Puyol that left him like doing the splits, bro? Oh my days.
that was like that was putting him on a poster type
Yeah.
things. You know what I mean? But overall, I like PK to be fair, and that's one of maybe our mistakes, as United. Maybe we should have
Definitely.
kept on to him, but he wouldn't have been this player. Never, ever, ever.
Probably not.
He would
Probably not.
never have been this player. Like he needed that Pep system. He needed that Barcelona kind of culture. That was all what he was about. So it's good for him, man. It's good for him, but he can't act like he was perfect. That's all.
Nah, definitely not. Definitely not. But anyways, to get back to Barcelona, that is a potential team that United can play alongside. I'm going to get the list up, but off the top of my head, Ajax, Juventus, Bayer Leverkusen. Is Sevilla third? I think Sevilla is also in that kind of category. If you can think of anyone's off the top of your head as well, trying to think of the teams United can play. But
You can play
boy,
Juventus,
listen.
you can play Barcelona, Ajax, Shakhtar Donetsk,
Shakhtar, yep.
Sevilla, Salzburg,
Sporting Lisbon and Sporting.
Sporting Lisbon. There's one more, I think.
So
I think
I got it.
Spain.
Ajax, Leverkusen, Barca, Sporting,
Leverkusen.
Salzburg, Shakhtar, Sevilla, and Juventus.
Yeah.
But like you kind of said, man, I can't lie. I think, look, today obviously wasn't great, and West Ham wasn't great either. But I would feel comfortable against any of those teams if I'm as a Manchester United fan. I wouldn't look at any of those teams. This isn't Barcelona in 2011 where you're looking at Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta. It's not that. It's not Ajax of Ten Hag's era. These are all very beatable teams. And like we said, these guys are dropping from the Champions League for a reason. In fact, Kim, you could tell me who's the last team to drop out the Champions League and win the Europa League that same season? I can't think of many. Usually it's not like it's a guarantee for them to win the whole tournament.
Chelsea.
Yeah, wait.
Chelsea with...
It's not Sarri because Sarri, they played the whole year in the Europa League that year.
Did they?
Yeah, because the year before that, Conte got them fifth.
Chelsea with Benitez.
That year, yeah. But I'm trying to think, did Sevilla have any year where they dropped down from the Champions League and won it? They must have, because winning the Europa League gets you to the Champions League, and they won it 3 times in a row. So they must have done it as well. But like I said, yeah, Atletico Madrid, actually, that's the last team. Atletico, when they won it against, yeah. But just to kind of show you that it's not a guarantee for a team to drop down from the Champions League and win the whole thing. And United are in the Europa League, but they are still a big team. So I would feel comfortable against any of them. But off the names that I just kind of gave you as a United fan, who do you want to play the most? And who do you want to play the least as well?
Trip to the Camp Nou, yeah.
Are we out? Are we out? Me and you, if we go to the if we draw Barca.
Hey, listen,
FTBL.
I hope you're watching. I hope you're watching, boy. Sevilla are 18th in the league, but you don't really want to play Sevilla because of their heritage of the Europa League.
Yeah.
You don't really... Barcelona are probably the ones that you want to avoid the most. I can't lie. I kind of want to link Pogba, you know what I mean? Tell him, yo, hold that.
Pogba and Di Maria.
I kind of want to link them. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't really mind that. Who else is there?
But also, you say that. Don't you want to link Frankie too, though, bro?
That's true. That's true.
Show my man what he missed out on.
That is actually...
Beat it, chick.
Nah, you know what? Yeah. Not... You know what? It'll be funny to play Ajax, you know what I mean? Ten Hag's old team. That'll be funny. But, I mean, when you look at those teams, I'm sure most people will probably say you want Salzburg in it. You probably want a Salzburg. That's probably who we truly want, I'd say. But give me... I don't mind. There's narratives that I can run everywhere with these teams, man. There's narratives, you know what I'm saying? So,
Amorim, Ignacio. Hey, give us anyone we're running with some shit, bro.
Audition, man. Audition.
Hey, man. Lissandro Martinez as well. Someone said we'll be missing the first leg. That's a massive loss. Hopefully by then Varane will be back. You'd expect it to, because it will be after the World Cup. People are saying Leverkusen as well. Yeah, Leverkusen would be a fairly easy one in my opinion. I think that's one of the weaker teams, excuse me, to drop down from the Champions League. Outside of that, we can talk briefly about the other teams that went through today. Arsenal were within, honestly, one goal of potentially being in the same situation as us, right? Zurich had some big chances near the end, but Arsenal tops the group by 2 points. They probably have to look at themselves as one of the big favorites of this tournament. No one in this tournament is in better form domestically than they are. They haven't even been playing their strongest teams all the time. You're seeing Rob Holding line up for Arsenal in Europa League games. So I think they have to be very confident, right?
Yeah, I'm literally looking at Jesus' chance right now. What is going on? This guy can't finish, bro. It's crazy.
Man. It's not looking
this
good.
This guy genuinely cannot finish. Like, I did not know his finishing was this bad. Like, because he used to score at City, I used to think, oh, bro, like he comes on with like 50 minutes and scores. But damn, this guy's finishing is poor, man. But he's a good player, but man,
that City system do be stat padding, bro. I can't lie.
Bro, I'm telling you, Arsenal fans, yeah, they're loving it right now while they're winning.
That's what I want to ask you, bro. I want to ask you
real quick.
Yeah, no, I want to ask you that because someone on Twitter was like, is it okay that Jesus is missing all these chances if Arsenal are still scoring goals and other people are scoring? I said it doesn't matter until it does, because eventually, unless Saka and Martinelli are like Salah and Mane level, which they haven't proven to be, these guys, the goals are going to dry up for them. Xhaka will not be scoring every single game. Odegaard will not be getting the odd goal here and there. And eventually, you're going to have to rely on your 9 to win you a game. That 1-0 ugly game where your number 9 just comes in clutch. This weekend at Chelsea, it could be the case. Away at the Etihad, it could be the case.
I've always liked Jesus. There's no problem at all. I've always liked the guy. But listen, it's going to be nice. As you mentioned, it's going to be nice when you're winning, bro. When you're not winning, you don't like it. Same way with when, let's say, for example, Jose football, Conte football, Simeone football. You love it when you're winning. You ignore the fact that you're bored watching it. You ignore the fact that you didn't create that much chances because you're what's it called? What's the word? You're winning. You're happy. But the minute it turns, all those things that you had in the back of your mind start kicking in, and he's missing too many gilt-edged chances, too many. But good luck for him, man. Good luck to him, and good luck to them against Chelsea. They went through top of the group, something that we didn't do. So Arsenal, with the form that they're in this season, they should be looking to win the Europa League. I mean, they're telling everyone right now that they're one of the best teams in the league and they're flying and stuff. So I expect Arsenal to get to Europa League final minimum.
100%. I just wanted to talk to Ryan here, who says, like, you guys will talk about Garnacho today for 1 goal and nothing else, but talk about Jesus for doing everything but missing a chance. Me and Cam are Jesus fans. I went on a podcast and I talked about my 11 favorite players in the league position for position. I put him as my favorite striker in the league at the moment. But the thing that Arsenal fans, I think, aren't clocking, or like they're blatantly ignoring, is that Jesus can continue doing all the excellent stuff that he's doing throughout a game. Brilliant all-around play. No one doubts that. But that doesn't stop him from also scoring goals. If he finishes one of these chances, it doesn't mean that all the other stuff he does doesn't happen anymore. Jesus will, A, make himself that much more dangerous of a player, and B, also open things up for the rest of his teammates if he starts becoming lethal from these opportunities. So it's not a case of, can he only be a goal scorer? Can he only do the brilliant stuff? He can combine both of them. And we're talking about the Benzema profile. Jesus could be that if he starts adding consistent finishing. So no one's taking anything away from his overall game. But we just need to add the goals to him, guys. You guys spent 50 million pounds on him. He had that interview with Rio where he said, I want to be a 25, 30 goal a season striker. Let's see it.
Go to that Mario's comment there. Pin that Mario's comment.
I'm looking for it right now. Yeah, I see it. This one right here.
Yeah. So with this comment here, Jesus is free at Arsenal. Are we not watching the same Jesus, or is this the Jesus that you saw at Man City, or are you trying to tell me you're not pleasantly surprised at how much better he is in all-round play, how much he actually gets involved? I see him sometimes defending in his own box. I see him sometimes starting moves. I see him on the end of moves. He's dribbling. The guy's averaging, I think, is the most touches in the box of anyone in the Premier League. Yes, he needs to score. Only difference is that he's just not putting the ball in the back of the net. He's not got KDB whipping it into him onto his toenail. You know what I mean? When he doesn't even have to run, he ain't got that. But he's creating his own chances. Sometimes he doesn't shoot at the right moments. But the guy is free. Raheem Sterling as well. Right now they got a new manager, but Raheem Sterling is playing more like how he wants to play. Now, if he has to execute it, that's the difference. But however, both of these guys were at Man City and would just simply get on the end of things and just don't get involved. You two get out of the way. Just get on the end of things and grab your goals. These guys are doing what they want to do more. And I've never said that Pep held their careers down or anything like that. In fact, he elevated Sterling's career for sure. However,
Definitely.
there comes to a point where guys want to have more importance on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? They want to have more importance. Just they've only got one career, and both of them are now, one's at Chelsea, one's at Arsenal, and they're doing their thing. Do you know what I'm saying? So there we go.
No, 100%. And I see a lot of people in the comments talking about GAs and the rest of the team is scoring at a consistent rate, so it's not important. Hey, if Arsenal go on to win the league this season and Jesus finishes with 9 goals and, I don't know, a million missed opportunities, then fair play. But from my experience of watching the Premier League, especially past wintertime, where it kind of goes January, February, the games start piling up, and these 5-0 wins against Nottingham Forest end up becoming 1-0 wins or 2-1 wins that you edge at the last minute. Every single goal starts counting. And that's really where you need your striker to kind of come in clutch and win you games individually. And that's where I think Jesus will really
the
be
thing is,
justified.
people can't try and make it out, like I'm here talking like this is just a Jesus thing. I am the one guy, not the one, I guess, but I am a very vocal guy about when Martial was doing this. And people were saying, check his link-up play. I said, can we have goals, please? Can we please have goals? Because now look, when it turned, people was doing what? People were like, he's not doing this, he's not doing that, he's not doing this. But I was on the boat from time where, mate, the link up and that is all nice, but can you please score? Can you please score? Because we're now relying on guys who are not natural goal scorers to score. Same way with what you just said. Unless Saka becomes a Salah type or Martinelli becomes a Mane type, where they're consistent banging goals, where these guys can get you hat tricks some games, bro, then it's going to always be a slight problem, bro. You need to score goals as a striker. Goal
100.
scoring number 9s. So what is going on in today's game that people don't want strikers to score or don't care if strikers don't score no more? It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
No, 100%. I know you for sure. You're all about your number 9s getting goals. 100%. We'll kind of look at the other teams because we won't focus solely on United and Arsenal. Actually, there was one super chat that I wanted to talk about briefly, Araf. I didn't miss it. Guys, do you think Szoboszlai, Olmo, and Nkunku are ready for the Premier League? I guess those are the 3 Leipzig attackers, or 3 of the Leipzig attackers. We kind of talked about Nkunku a bit yesterday, and I think me and Cam both agree that his movement, his athleticism, his finishing, everything kind of screams that, this guy could really bang in the right system in the Premier League. Szoboszlai and Olmo, to be honest with you, I think I wouldn't want my team to be buying them. I don't think Szoboszlai has really lit the world about Leipzig. He's been a bit better this season, but me personally, I think these are guys that probably are a few seasons away from being ready for the Premier League. Nkunku, though, he's a problem. You
reckon? Yeah, I think they can all play in the Prem.
Well, I mean, I say play in the Prem. I'm thinking about like United and Arsenal level. Maybe they can go play for like I don't want to say Everton, but like one of those like 8 through like 15 teams. But I don't think like the big 6 they're ready.
Yeah, maybe. And Nkunku can play for a top team. Probably. He deserves the opportunity. I like Olmo. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I see Olmo play, I'm impressed. I still gotta get more familiar with my man. I'm not even gonna bother trying to say his name. Yeah, I ain't gonna bother trying to say his name. But from what I've seen of him, he's pretty nice. But I like Olmo, I'm not gonna lie, I like him. But Nkunku, it's time for him to get that move, and let's see what happens, because he scores goals in the Champions. He scores goals at all levels. That's the important thing, and we'll see if he has any type of contribution for France in the World Cup. I'm actually interested to see if they're gonna give him the nod or where he's gonna play for them. If he does, anyway, probably won't. You know what I mean? Because he just probably won't. However, let's see. Let's see with them. But I like Olmo. I like Nkunku, and I need to see a little bit more of my man in it.
Szoboszlai.
Szoboszlai.
Olmo, to be fair as well, Enrique puts a lot of trust in him. You saw in the Euros, like he's a guy that he relies on. So maybe you're right in that regard. Saeed, I want to give you some airtime. I can't lie, because me and Cam, I'll be very honest with you, we haven't been giving probably De Gea as many flowers as he deserves. I still have my reservations about him, but to be absolutely fair to him, last few games he's really been coming in clutch, and I think he's had some moments where he's arguably saved United this year. Does that think that Does that mean that I think he should be United's goalkeeper going forward? Probably not. Does that mean I think United should give him a new contract? Definitely not. But fair play to the guy. I think actually his passing from the back has actually gotten a bit better this season. I still worry about him in terms of commanding his area, but the saves have never been a question for De Gea. We've always known that this guy can pull out a miraculous save, and we saw it today, the double save. Maybe it was a bit fortunate with the second one, and against West Ham, that last minute against Rice. But look, the reservations aren't completely gone, but at least he's not throwing the ball in the back of his net like he was in the beginning of the season.
De Gea, hey, make your saves, do your thing, but we need to move forward. We need to move on going forward. You know, I mean, people are talking about the save, but that was weak wrists in my opinion for the first save. Anyway, I mean, I think he should have been parrying that out. I'm not gonna lie, but maybe I'm being quite harsh. However, I still think Man United need to move on. Even sometimes when he is on the board, I mean, they're starting to press him and he just kicks it out. I'm like, bro, you're getting me on the edge of my seat. You know what I mean? It's a good goalkeeper, but Man United do this, man. Man United do this. You know what I mean? United are going to do this, give a new contract to someone that's been here nearly, how long has he been here? Over 10 years. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I'm trying to start a new era, bro.
This is
I'm trying to
killing me,
start a
bro.
new era.
Bro,
Man
goalkeepers make saves.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Classic Zoo. Thank you, bro. These guys get super excited over a goalkeeper making a save. Like, you make saves. You're a goalkeeper. That's your job. Just make saves. Now we're asking you to do other things and you're mid at it. Do you know what I mean? That's what I don't like. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to see this guy get a new contract and be the highest paid player in the Premier League or whatever he's doing right now. If he's gonna happily accept being on the bench or whatever, maybe that's all good. But he's been here 10 years now. Yeah, I mean, I want new blood in this club, bro. I don't want man that have been part of our 10-year, 11-year failure. They remember their moments. I don't want that. I want fresh man. You know what I mean? Martinez is coming in. He doesn't feel what players have been feeling over the last couple of years. Casemiro doesn't either. These guys, I want that new blood, man. I'm good with De Gea, but keep playing well, mate. Keep playing well. It's about time. You owe us about 2 seasons now too, so it's all good.
As well too, right? The guy we were talking about briefly yesterday. I'm trying to find the comment.
Exactly. Look, Ash said it right there. And I keep saying it. Guys come in and they bring in their new. If you want to do this, everyone loves all this modern day football until it comes to De Gea.
Yeah.
Everyone will say, you need this type of fullback, you need this type of number 6, you need this type of link-up striker who drops deep and can do this and can do that. You need inverted forward. As soon as it comes to De Gea, you don't need none of that. You just need De Gea who can make saves. Nah, less of that, bro. When Pep came in, he wanted Bravo. Bravo didn't work. He said, boy, upgrade, let me get Edison. Arteta's come in, he wants Ramsdale. Doesn't care if Leno might be the better shot stopper. He wants Ramsdale. With Klopp, he brought in Alisson. All of this type of stuff, man. Yeah, you know what I mean? But Man United are going to hang on to De Gea, who's been here for 10 years. He's had 10 years. 10 years at this club. Not many people can have had that. It's okay, man.
He's actually he's the second longest serving current Premier League player at the moment after Seamus Coleman. No Premier League player outside of Coleman has been at a club in the Premier League at the moment longer than him.
Yeah, man. Look, let's move on, man. Let's move
on.
From
100%. And we talked a bit about this yesterday. Diogo Costa, the Porto keeper, and probably going to be Portugal's number 1. I guess today he's just signed a new contract till 2027 with a 75 million release clause. And you look at Alisson, who is the example you brought. You look at Ederson. Clubs had to spend huge money on these guys. Alisson was a world record fee for a goalkeeper when they signed him. Well, you've seen the impact that he's made and continues to make. A goalkeeper can make all the difference. A goalkeeper can make that defense that much stronger, and a goalkeeper can also unlock a new side to your game. And I think with United building up from the back, Cruyff has that. I think Cruyff has that philosophy, right? You defend from the front, build from the back, and that goalkeeper.
How can you be at the club 10 years and you're not an option for captaincy?
Yeah, that's crazy. Because he's not a leader, though. He's never been a leader.
10 years, you are not an option for captaincy. Bro, do you know how mad that is?
Crazy.
10 years. Imagine Manuel Neuer at Bayern for 10 years and not being one of the leaders. Even Victor Valdez was. These 10 years. Come on, man. Like, come on. You've been at the club. You have seen it all. You are the guy at the club, and you haven't even, and you're not even an option. That is a madness,
Yeah.
bro. That is
Nah,
a madness.
for me, anyways, with De Gea's press conferences, I think it explains it perfectly why he isn't the captain. Like a lot of the time, he's actually deflecting blame onto others, especially last season. Like he had some press conferences where I was watching them and just like fuming. Like this guy was, again, like I said, literally picking up the ball and throwing it into his own net and then complaining about the mentality at the club. Like, bro, you've been here a decade and you're one of the, let me not say too much on De Gea, bro. You guys, you know where I stand. Yeah, kind of just moving on from that. Ibby says, I'd like to bring the entire Europa League group stage to the court, my sirs. That Zurich game and every game was a slog. Good riddance to the group stage. Hey, me and Cam, we couldn't agree more. We are so happy to see the end of this tired group stage. Be gone.
Yeah, nah, listen, the group stage champ, but how can they reinvent it though? What can they do? Just make it a straight knockout slugfest.
I don't even know, bro. You know that Super League is supposed to replicate the NBA? Maybe the Europa League is the G League, bro.
You know what? Yeah, they need to. How can they do the Europa, man? I don't know how they look at Sarri still smoking on the touchline. He's a mad you, bro. He's a mad you. Hey, big up Sarri, man. But I don't know what he can do. You know, I don't know what he can do. Maybe just. I think maybe it just needs to be a straight knockout rounds.
For me, bro,
Like,
you think about
it'll cut down the games, innit? Like make it knockout rounds from the jump. So it's like round, you know, like the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Do it like that. Do it like the FA Cup. Just
the problem
that
too now, bro.
Play the strongest team every round as well.
The problem now too is you have the Conference League, bro. The Conference League is just like, at least with the Europa League at 1 point, okay, it's like the second tier teams if you want. Now you have the Conference League with the third tier teams. We don't cover that shit, thankfully. The day FTBL comes to us asking for a Conference League show, hey, it's techie. But hey, bro.
You're crazy, bro.
We got this comment as well too from Omar saying, Lias, I know you don't rate Juventus, but what do you think of a midfield of Paredes, Locatelli, Pogba, an attack of Chiesa, Di Maria, Vlahovic? Well, Juve is another team that's kind of dropping down. We can talk about them briefly. They look shit, man. I can't lie. PSG, actually, the last game they played, and recently in the league as well, they've kind of been playing some of the younger players. They got that Miretti kid, that Fagioli kid. So maybe they got to go to the youth. But I'm looking at Pogba in 2022. I'm looking at Di Maria in 22. I hated the Di Maria signing when they signed him, by the way. Like I said, Juve have been going a direction where they had a good core of young players. They had Pirlo at the helm, and they threw it all away to kind of go back to these short-term free agent signings. Juve are in the mud. Financially, they're screwed. I don't mind that midfield of Paredes, Locatelli, and Pogba, but look, that's not moving any trees. That's not winning Serie A. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. I mean, I like Chiesa a lot. I like Chiesa. Yo, if we can
Chiesa,
get Chiesa,
I love Chiesa. I love Chiesa. Oh my god.
I like him. I like Locatelli as well. I think he'll be good in the Premier League. I think Locatelli will be good in the Premier League. Pogba and that. Pogba's never going to be the Pogba that people once thought. And I'm thinking people are probably still thinking about dab Pogba, you know what I mean? RIP takeoff, you know what I'm saying? They're still probably thinking about when the Migos were doing the dab. That's the Pogba that they're thinking of. Hey, that Pogba's gone. The Man United Pogba, he was all right. He wasn't all that for me. And then this, Lord knows what Pogba's coming back. He's going to be done out here, man. I mean, done out. He's had way too many injuries, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm good with that, man. I'm good with that, bro.
No, 100%, bro. Honestly, I think Juve are actually in the mud, bro.
He was doing all that judging that. Hey, my sympathy is capped.
Yeah,
but
no
we
comment.
won't talk about that.
No comment, bro. No, this classic Zoo guy in the comments is killing me right now, bro.
Yeah, classic Zoo.
They ain't learned to click ball from crosses he first come. Come on, man. Hey, shout out Classic Zoo, bro.
Yo, MD, we spoke about CR7, man. You have to go back to the beginning, bro. Yeah. You have to go back to the beginning. We've spoken about Man United already, man. You know what I'm saying? We've spoken about that. This
guy goes, Lias and Cams, West Ham to win the Conference League. Respectfully, we don't care. We don't care.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. We don't care.
Get that competition out of here, man. Come on. Hey, bro.
Don't do
Let's look at some of the other teams briefly that kind of went through as well. I know.
Yeah, why is
Fener-
MD on? What's MD on me about this Ronaldo stuff?
and
What's
I'm
his
gonna
beef with
analyze
me,
what you
bro?
said, Kims. MD, you might be one of my guys. I can't lie. If you're taking the Ronaldo stance that you are, hey, you're cool with me, bro.
I
You're
don't
cool
get
with
what
me.
he's angry about. And I'm not talking about Ronaldo again, man.
Yeah, we did that. Come on, the Zoom meeting conference league, bro. That's don't kill me,
Literally.
man. Let's briefly look at the other groups. Fenerbahce and Rennes coming out of their group. Let's be real. I don't think either of them are taking down any massive teams in this competition. Real Betis and Roma, and I think Roma were in a tight one near the end, right? They had to beat Ludo Goretz today, otherwise they would have basically been out of the competition. I think even drawing wouldn't have been enough for them. Group D, Union Saint, what the hell is this team? Union Saint Gillois, who are from Belgium, and Union Berlin, who are taking teams apart in the Bundesliga. They advance as well. Real Sociedad and Manchester United, we already talked about them. Feyenoord and Midtjylland. Lazio, actually, you're talking about Maurizio Sarri. He didn't even get out of the group stage. So
Damn.
shout out my guy. Freiburg and Nantes as well going through, and then Ferencváros and Monaco. So look, I mean, we talked about some of the teams coming down. We talked about just briefly some of the teams going through. I don't think the Europa League is the strongest it's ever been this year. I remember a few years
It's
back when there was
interesting though. It's a bit interesting with the teams
it'll
coming
be all
down.
right, man. But I remember the year, right, where Aldi kind of lost to Sevilla in the semifinals, where it was like United, Sevilla, and Inter Milan. I think that was a really strong year in the Europa League. This year, I
No,
don't know.
it depends, man. You gotta wait, bro. Like, because if Barcelona, just imagine in some alternate world, the Champions League semi-final is Man United, Arsenal, Juventus, and Barcelona. Bro, we're lit. We're lit. We're lit. Deep it, bro.
Yeah.
So let's see. But hey, Arsenal better go and win that. Man said I got that brown envelope.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna stick on that too long, but just so you saw that.
I was in Rio's face saying that I understand why Ten Hag don't play him. The people can never run that with me.
Real men. Elias, can you pronounce? I think it's pronounced Saint-Gillois. Saint-Gillois. So there you go. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But let me flex that little French over here. We'll take some last minute questions from you guys if you guys got anything else. If not, we've been going for around an hour, giving you guys Europa League content. This is real dedication. 300 of you guys in the stream right now as well. Big up all of you guys. Smash the like button. But if you guys got any last minute questions, we'll answer them. If not, we'll catch you guys. Guys,
MD, I'm always real with. I'm not biased to nobody. I ain't got no loyalties to nobody. None of this guy ain't giving me no money to do nothing. You know what I mean? So I've spoken in many on other episodes. I've spoken about Ronaldo, man. I know the reality of Cristiano, but just to summarize, I just don't think that it was his fault today. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, let's move.
Yeah, so we got a few questions. Thoughts on Gakpo. We've given our thoughts a few times. We're not going to go too much into it. I personally think Gakpo, look, the numbers he's putting up right now are insane, but I'm of the belief, that these big, lanky, tall wingers, I'm not a huge fan of them, and I think Gakpo's future will probably end up being more central. I think Cam may value that or may mirror that same opinion, but yeah, huge numbers though.
I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he looks like he shoot first, you know what I mean? Shoot. Wait, I just seen one comment that just killed me, bro.
We'll scroll down. I'll see it later.
Anwar's comment is too silly, but now Gakpo looks all right, but he's definitely unproven at this point. Still got a long way to go. You know what I'm saying?
We asked these guys, give us questions. Their answer.
Man said who would win in a fight, Diddy or Tube? Have you seen that Diddy video?
Yeah.
When he's in the suit,
Yo, it killed me how he went from because he was playing the Joker character really well, bro. He was playing it, and then all of a sudden he turns back into 50. It's like, do something. Nah, 50 Cent is a clown, bro.
You mean Diddy?
Yeah, sorry, no, P Diddy is a fucking killing. Wait, maybe I'm thinking of a different video, bro. I'm thinking of you're thinking of the Joker costume, right?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Oh, why am I saying 50 Cent? Yeah, bro, dog, hilarious.
But do something then. Do something.
Araf asks here, bro, guys, do you think France? So here's let this guy. Basically, if you haven't seen the news today, Kim, Zidane is reportedly all but confirmed to be taking over the France job after this World Cup. which has been rumored for a long time. This guy can't stop laughing. Hey, man.
Yo, I forgot about that video already, fam, because of all the takeoff stuff, man.
Oh, yeah,
That is funny. I'm gonna go watch that after this, bro. That is so
Hey,
funny, bro. Fuck, Anyway.
Anyways, yeah, let me go back to this question. Guys, do you think France will dominate under Zidane like Spain did from 2008 to 2012? If you haven't seen the news, Zidane is reportedly going to become the France manager after the World Cup. I told people this, right? Because 2018, people were saying France could go on a dynasty run. They could go replicate. They could go outdo what that Spain team did. But yo, people have to realize, bro, that international football is so unpredictable and that there's a reason why. When was the last time a team were able to win back-to-back World Cups? Bro, in like the 60s or 70s, it doesn't happen. So for people who were like all over this France hype, oh, they're so young, they have so much talent, they could win the World Cup with their B team, it was never going to happen. What Spain did is honestly a freak show. Will they be better under Zidane? I think so, because I'm not a big fan of Didier Deschamps, but nothing is guaranteed in international football. There's a reason why every single champion since like 1998 has been eliminated in the group stage of the next tournament, because it's so hard to carry on that dominance every single 4 years, because so much happens in 4 years. But we'll see what happens with Zidane. I love Zidane as a coach and a player. Cam, of course, does as well. So we'll see what they do.
Yeah, I feel this is what he's wanted his whole time, innit? And how good would it be for the players? How good would it be for the players to be coming and seeing Zidane, bro? On international duty. That's enough motivation for me. Let me tell you that. But who knows, man? Who knows? It seems like Zidane's a bit of a guy that just wants to chill, and he's not really what's the word can I say? I don't know what the word
hands-on,
is.
Right?
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, he's not really hands-on. So let's see what happens with them, man. But I think he's the perfect guy for it. But I hope he does come back to club football eventually, though, man. Like, I really do. I think he should come back. But yeah, good appointment. Deschamps, I think, has done a good job. I know people don't like the players that he plays, Matuidi left wing and all this type of stuff, but
I don't like the style of play he plays. I think it's very that's why I don't like.
Let's keep it 100. Yeah. Other than Spain, yeah. How many nations do you see play some mad brand of football? It was just that Spain crop that came through. A lot of them came from the same academy, blah, 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 blah. We know how it went, and they made this mad team. But the Brazilians and stuff, they just played the way they are. It was still very much kind of just freestyle. International football, for me, a lot of it is just freestyle. You don't really go and see how many... Like, oh yeah, the passing patterns, the tactic.
It makes sense, right? Because these managers see these international managers, they see their squads once every 3-4 months. They don't have much time on the training ground to really implement tactics and stuff like that. So it's international football for me is like the manager is responsible for forming a good base, forming a good defensive setup, making sure that the camp is happy whenever you see them, and then putting your best players, like basically how Aldi played at United is how international managers coach at international level.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. And yeah, good point by splashing it. Obviously, the Netherlands teams back in the day, but back in them days, man, international football was the pinnacle of everything. I feel like that kind of feeling has kind of lost its way a little bit. I'm not saying international football is not as important, but you think about the times when the 80s and 70s, when the way they talk about international football, it was like the pinnacle of everything, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, so Maradona had a good club career, but it's what he really did on the international stage why people have him in GOAT conversations.
100%.
But now it's a little bit different. Back then, the best managers in the world would manage at the club level, international level. Now, bro, it's only most of the managers at international levels are mid.
Our Flick, I mean, you're right.
They're mid.
No, 100%. And I think also, like, me personally, I think that the Messi and Ronaldo era, because both of them have struggled so much at international level, the fan has almost subconsciously decided that international football matters a lot less because they're automatically making excuses for their players. You can't control what players you have in your national team. Ronaldo and Messi are the GOATs. They don't have World Cups, so therefore the World Cup means less. But like Cam said, bro, players used to make their legacies based on what they did in the World Cup. Like, sure, okay, Pele dominated with Santos, but everyone who rates Pele as one of the best or calls him the GOAT is because of what he did in those Brazil teams. Maradona, I asked my dad. My dad thinks Maradona is the GOAT. I think most people from that era does too. But you ask what makes you think Maradona is better than Messi, and they say Messi could never do what Maradona did with that Argentina team. That Argentina 1986 campaign is what puts Maradona in those discussions. But yeah, international football is so different, 100%.
Yeah, no, that's a good point by Martin over there. He says football is such a bigger product now. World Cup hasn't followed the trend because it was already massive. That could be true. You know what I mean? You can imagine not many things were televised and stuff. So when everyone gets together for the World Cup, it must have been absolutely unreal. That's where they probably put all the money. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, that's a really good point, to be honest. I didn't really think of it like that.
Champions League 2, I think, has kind of taken over from the World Cup, to be honest. I think that's now the premier competition.
Yeah, in a way, bro, in a way. So yeah, nah, that's a good point. But talking about Ronaldo and Messi, bro, they are under fraud watch, bro. Them two have not got a World Cup knockout goal, bro.
That's crazy. They
are under serious fraud watch, bro.
Yeah.
But we'll talk soon.
100%. Yeah. I'm sure you'll have a lot of World Cup content coming up soon as well. Hey, man. This pains me a lot, man. As the CEO, the original founder, I'm going to give myself that title. I basically birthed Mahrez back in 2013. Guys, it's time we hang up the boots. I can't lie. We had a really good run. I'm a four-time Premier League winner. Not a lot of people can kind of put that on my resume. I'm a four-time Premier League winner, AFCON winner, PFA Premier League Player of the Year winner. But hey, at this point in time, we are simply ring chasing. We're ring chasing on City. We're Tracy McGrady on the Spurs right now, bro. It's time to kind of sail off into the distance. Mahrez FC, we had a good run, but hey, man, it's not looking good. That's all I got to say on that point. Let's see what other questions we got. Cam got loyalties to Declan Rice. Yeah, that's the guy. Come on, Cam's ain't got loyalty.
Who said that?
This guy said Enrico.
What makes him say that?
I have no idea. NBA predictions for tonight. Cam, that's more so you, bro. What you thinking?
Who is playing tonight? Let me check. Oh, damn, I need to watch Magic. They're playing Golden State right now. I need to watch Paolo and Bobo cook. But let me see who else is playing.
While you look that up, who's the next Premier League manager to get sacked? What do you guys reckon?
Oh, the NBA tonight is mid, man.
Hey, my Raptors are kind of looking nice, by the way. Pascal Siakam this year, bro, is crazy. He's cooking, bro. If you got him in a draft, bro, or in a fantasy
OT cams, Enrico, is it?
Who's the next Premier League manager to get sacked, Kim?
Who's the next Premier League manager to get sacked?
Yeah, let me look at the table right now. I would have thought it was the Forest manager, but they gave him a new contract.
It could have potentially been
Marsh, right?
Marsh, yeah, but he's probably not going to go down. He's probably not going to get sacked right now. But
I think guys are comfy right now. I can't lie, because Forest aren't going to fire their manager. They gave him a new contract. I think they're sticking with him. Wolves are looking for one. Rodgers, if they were going to fire him, they would have already. Hassan Hurdle, maybe. I would still say probably, bro, honestly, it's still probably Jesse Marsh. He's probably the most likely one at this moment.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Enrico. Okay. Yeah. Big up, man. I remember. You were Flex's lot, I think. And maybe I saw loads of people, but I think if you look like that guy looked like an Enrico, so I'm going to say that you were Enrico.
If not, you're like an idiot right now. I can't lie. You should have just kept your mouth shut and be like, yo, my guy, I remember you.
Bro, he looked like an Enrico, bro. Trust me. He was going to see.
I had Nouri and Aouar choosing Algeria. I'm very happy about that. I had Nouri. That's a great left back. Aouar, hey, he hasn't had the career I was hoping he was going to have, but that's still a good body to have. So, yeah, it's a shame we won't see them in the World Cup, but it is what it is. Cam, I'll throw this one at you as well. What's your ideal two-man midfield for France and Qatar now that Pogba and Kante are out? Chouameni, surely. Chouameni, Camavinga, Rabiot, Guendouzi, Kakare.
If it was up to me, I'll be Kakare and Chouameni. But Camavinga, I don't think they like how positionless he is at the moment. Yeah. But they would have some form of connection, you know. Kama and Tchouaméni, so probably go with that. But hey, I like Kakare, man. Hey, I like that.
Yeah,
You know,
me too. But I think the Real Madrid duo, I would probably go with them. I agree with you, right? Like, I think both Ancelotti and Deschamps aren't fully convinced by Camavinga at this moment. I think they both think that he has a lot more growing and maturing to do. But boy, that's a talent right there. And Camavinga, when he's played for France, has looked decent. But yo, whatever you think about Pogba and Kante, bro, at international level, these guys turn up, bro. These guys are proven winners at international level. And I think that for me is the biggest thing that's going to hold France back this World Cup. Any last minute questions? I think that's probably gonna do it, guys. I can't lie. If I missed any good ones, I'm sorry. But yo, we actually probably went further than we were expecting to. This has been a great stream. We had over 300 people at one point. I'm gonna repeat it again. Like, share, subscribe, comment, not just in the stream, guys. Comment in the comment box below. Algorithm, all that shit helps. We'll be back next week with stoppage time as well on Sunday. FTBL culture, and then of course we'll see what streams you can throw your way. But yo, Cam, I'll catch you next week. I'll catch you this weekend. Actually, it's been a good stream, my people. Peace.